because I'm coming out as a new artist, and
Yes.
through Sony distribution, I'm getting all those channels started as far as the TikTok, Spotify, everything. But I have a career of working with other artists, so as far as performing, I'm already polished. It's just about getting things out there. And COVID didn't help, So
yeah, and I think right now that's like, we have definitely proved that we go forward even in COVID. We never stopped, and thank God because of that we we just felt like we had to keep going no matter what, and it got us to the point now where I really honestly can say I feel like we're leading the way right now on with our stages and the facility. Now it's just
there's no better
continuing to
time
get
than
these
now,
strategic
really.
partners.
Right.
No better time than now.
Big Nate's father is Willie Bennett, and his cousin is Joseph Bennett. They were wrongfully accused for 21 and 22 years from the Charles Stewart case in Boston, which was one of the biggest cases of interracial, killing and all that stuff back in the 80s, where the lady that got killed was pregnant, and she was a white woman, and she was the assistant DA of Boston. So her husband killed her for insurance and blamed it on Big Nate's father.
Wow.
So Big Nate's father did wrongfully accused for 21 years. Big Nate's cousin did 22 years for being accessory for holding a gun that was not even part of anything. They just pretty much set it up and blamed it on Nate's father and his cousin. And during that time, Nate actually accomplished a lot, being drafted to Oakland A's in high school, and then to playing for the Blue Jays out of college. Did a lot of things in the community. So he's a big ass black dude. Everyone in the city knows Big Nate as a good guy, especially as an athlete. They're building a field out here for Pawtucket Red Sox.
Minor league team for Red Sox.
Minor league team for the Red Sox, and then they're putting Nate's name in the hallway with the plaque for hitting the ball further than anyone has ever seen out here. Because back in the days, they said he hit the ball further than Ted Williams, and that's how he got drafted to the Blue Jays and everything.
Wow. So it's time to keep hitting those balls out of the park.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
In a new way.
You know what? Guess who taught him how to hit the ball and everything?
Oh, there you go.
Oh man, brother.
Well, it's been an honor. I got to watch that new music video that you put out, Big Nate. Jimmy and Anthony have been talking you up for a while, and we see, I just got to make a quick announcement here. Usually we take these live on Facebook, but today with the Zoom options, what we decided was we went live on YouTube.
Okay.
So we're sharing this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cleveland-Nashville Connection Music Tech Media Summit. Keep it moving, pivot and pave. This is our fourth ones. It started on a trip to Austin, Texas, met up with Anthony Lombardo at Caroline's on 5th, downtown Austin. Got connected with FCA Cleveland along the way. We got to stream live from First Energy for the Cardiac Kids. Worked with Cleveland Rocks, past, present, and future. Shout out to Cindy Barber and the Beachwind and all the amazing venues in Cleveland that we've had the opportunity to help support, and have also been super supportive of us. Through that, met DJ Focus from the Fix radio show. And with these connections, with Anthony's help and a great team, we've been able to, this is now our fourth Music Tech Media Summit. This is about pivoting and paving the future. And on this call, we have an amazing group of people. We have Ash Stahl, managing director for Flight House Media. They are deemed by Rolling Stone magazine as the MTV of the future, 27 million on their social media, and they're helping break top 100 Billboard artists. They have the new, they're really connected. They're building bridges with the next generation. We also have the VP of WuTang Management and CEO and founder of Str8Up Entertainment, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jimmy Kang.
The myth, the legend.
And what's amazing is, so if you're just tuning in now, we have a Big Nate All-Star, the future of Str8Up Entertainment. He's not only has amazing flow, but he's got bright vision. He's also in the music business, not just an artist, which we believe is the future. You have to mind your own business.
Correct. Salute to that.
On that as well, we have Victor from Thunder Studios and Probus Entertainment out of Long Beach, California. They not only have decades of experience in video production, but they have pivoted to virtual with Probus Entertainment. They work with the top of the top and are making sure that things are done in excellence. They help the community there in Long Beach, and we're excited to be teaming up with them on Hip Hop Salutes. If we bring it on down to Jay from Studio 44, he's Cleveland Nashville Connections, part of main guy, part of the stream team with Dave from Sea Level out of Cleveland, Ohio. They've been integral with producing the Music Speaks mental health awareness events. We did live from the Beachland Ballroom with Archie Green and Peel Them Layers Back in association with NAMI, which is major for mental health. We have Miss Gabby herself. Say hi, Gabby. I don't know if she's seeing me on here, but since Anthony and Jimmy, since Anthony and Jimmy are both on the same screen, Gabby has helped with PYT, Protect Your Neck Records, helping out Str8Up Entertainment, WuTang Management, and Mallard with Anthony Lombardo. We are honored to have Gabby on the call as well.
Hello.
Hello, Gabby. Hello, Gabby.
So just to lay, before I go into talking about our host here, I'm just going to lay down a few ground rules real quick. Let's everybody do their best to stay on point, stay on topic. Let's be straight up. Okay. If you got a problem, we'll do our best to solve it. And so what we want to do is do our best to just keep your mic on mute so we don't get too much feedback. Let's try to stay focused, and let's also try to have this done by 4 p.m. Eastern so we can go through everything. I'm going to turn it over to the Fix Radio show host, the man himself, helping head up Hip Hop Salutes, mental health awareness concert, and so much more. DJ Focus.
Appreciate that great introduction, man. Thanks, Brandon, for having me. So yeah, just I'm excited just to have man, listen, I'm looking at this screen, man, just a bunch of influencers, man, and just go-getters there out here, man. So I'm just excited to network and work with you guys. But I want to really start off the conversation. We'll kind of start with you, Ash. Can you kind of tell the people exactly who you are and what exactly you do with Flight Media?
Yeah, hey guys. So I'm Ash Stahl, like everyone said, managing director of a brand called Flight House. We are the #1 brand on TikTok, have about 27 million followers on there, another couple million on our other social platforms. We started out as a forward-facing content brand on TikTok, on Musical.ly at the time, making content with influencers, kind of like BuzzFeed. And over the years, we've established our back-end business model, which is working on a lot of white label marketing campaigns for record labels, artists, and now brands. So on the record label and artist side, we've worked with Arizona's Nervous Roxanne, Doja Cat Say So. We're working on the next Lil Nas X song, which comes out next week. So that'll be, you know, his first kind of release in I think almost a year or so. And really with him, he was the first artist to break on TikTok, the first major artist really to break and kind of show the industry and the world that TikTok really could move the needle elsewhere. So it'll be exciting to work on that one and see how we can follow that one up. But yeah, super exciting to be here and chat with all you guys. I think everyone here is really going to be on topic with pivoting and during these crazy times. So excited.
Absolutely. So I know you mentioned 27 million followers. How long did it take to build up that 27 million?
So we've actually been working on Flight House since Musical.ly days. That was about 3 years ago or so, I think. And so for anyone who wasn't aware, so Musical.ly was the original like lip syncing app, and then ByteDance, the parent company to TikTok, bought Musical.ly and combined TikTok and Musical.ly into just TikTok as we know it today. And so the first few million were pretty organic. We were working as a sound page. So we were uploading sped up versions of popular songs basically. And everyone on the platform was coming to our page to find unique audios to use in their videos. So for them to lip sync or dance to. And we were just honestly right place, right time, really early in the Musical.ly space. And it wasn't until like the past 6 months with COVID, TikTok started getting really, really mainstream eyes. And before that, probably a year or a year and a half, that it became so mainstream. But we've grown the last 10 million within the past year. So it's been pretty consistent, and we've just been fucking working our asses off to figure it out. Because at first it was something that we didn't know if it was going to work. We have our parent company is a company called Create Music Group. They do a lot of digital rights management, a lot of distribution, just basically everything for a number of artists. They do claiming on YouTube for Universal Music Group. We have a JV with, we work on Elliot Grange's 10K projects, just a bunch of stuff. And they really just trusted us to say, hey, like, we're going to stop working on everything we've been doing. And honestly, we spent $1 million the first few years trying to figure out Flighthouse. And luckily, like this year, we've been able to like be totally profitable and continue growing, and excited to see where everything goes moving forward. But it's been a lot of us not knowing if it was going to work.
No, that's good. So what's next? What's next? I know you guys got something you guys are cooking and rolling out next. What's next for Flighthouse Music?
Yeah. So we actually, Flighthouse ourselves actually recently partnered with Elliot at 10K Projects for us to launch our own label. So Flighthouse is going to be starting its own record label. So, we've seen over the past couple of years with all the artists and labels we worked with on the back end, that of course, when whatever label it is comes to us and has us run a campaign for them, they'd like to take the credit for it being as successful as it was. So a lot of times they don't want us to talk about the artists that we've kind of helped create. And we figured it was about time for us to be able to, be open about the successes that we've had and create our own artists and our own successes. So super excited about us building that. And when we've been talked to about what kind of artists we're looking to sign, and at first it was, we want to find these artists and songs that are bubbling up on TikTok and sign them and then like build them. But the reality of that is that right now, as soon as anything starts moving on TikTok, there's Columbia, there's all these other labels that are moving just as quickly and have such huge budgets to just throw at anything that they think could work. So it's really hard as like an indie label to compete with those kinds of offers, even if you get to them first, just with how, the structure of signing a record deal goes. It's just impossible for you to get that done before someone's in their ear with like a much bigger offer. So I think what the goal is there is for us to find tracks and artists off platform that are super, super small and just like on the up, and that we think we would work on TikTok. So that songs that we see that have like potential for us to make them huge on TikTok, and then for us to use our resources there. So we just are kind of creating a different lane, and one that we don't need to compete directly with some of these major labels.
No, that's super dope. I appreciate you sharing, Ash. We'll definitely come back to you. Next, we're going to go to, as they say, the man, the myth, and the legend, Jimmy Kang. VP from WuTang Management and Str8Up Entertainment. Jimmy, can you share a little bit? I think you got a real powerful success story. Can you still share a little bit on how you even got into promoting and managing and where you are now? Can we do a little back history?
Yeah. How I started first was I started playing hockey, and I got drafted to the Junior Bruins. And playing that let me understand that I could go to college for free. So I utilized that to go to college for free. And while I was going to college, we were going out to nightclubs and stuff. So I was always around people that played sports. So I had a lot of people around me. So we used to go out, and then they offered me a bartender job. I didn't take it. And then they offered me a promotional job, and I figured out I could make money off promoting, just bringing my friends to a club. They get in for free and I get paid for it. That was like the best thing. I was like the hero at college. They're like, well, we get to go here for free because of Jimmy. And I'm like, yeah, thank you for coming. And I'm getting paid. And, you know, and I had enough money in college where I started buying things for everyone, like pizza parties, cake parties. All my boys, you would go to the shop and our velour suits, Sean John velour suits and things, you know. So during that, I guess I started learning how to manage the nightclubs, where I ended up managing 5 clubs at once in the city of Worcester, and bringing all the artists in to do performances and stuff. Some of the artists liked the way how I handled things, to the after parties, to, you know, nightclubs. So they started asking me to manage them. Started managing Crumb Snatcher, and we got Crumb into the Training Day soundtrack. Crumb did, you know, he got signed with Gangstar, Guru, and Premier. And after that, I started working with Ed OG, Jason, and Slane. Slane's a big movie star right now. Ed OG, you know, I Gotta Have It, Be a Father to Your Child, you know, and Yo MTV Raps, one of the originators. And then after that, started pushing some young cats out of New England. And that's when, you know, like the Clan, they started coming here. I started doing shows for them. And I was bringing artists down, legendary artists down to one of my clubs every Saturday, even if I was taking a win or a loss, because I wanted the local guys to open up for them so they could build their resume. So I did that for 2 years straight, let everyone build their resume up. And one of the Wu-Tang people started saying, hey, come down, check this out. So I went to New York with Crumb Snatcher, met RZA, Divine, met Mook and everyone. And they had asked me to come and work for them. So once I started working for them, I guess within 2 years, they made me the vice president. So I became the VP, and I held that position for, I don't even know, a long, long, long time. So we just been doing a lot of things. And then I stopped Str8Up Entertainment because I was working with WuTang Management, and we had the 20th year anniversary, the 25th anniversary. Hold on one sec, please. Yo, that's why Nick went over there.
Yeah, I thought I
Turn the radio off.
Hey,
Sorry, that was echoing. So I had to tell Tony to go to the next
turn the
one.
radio down so I can listen.
Yeah. All right. So once I got into WuTang Management, I stopped Str8Up Entertainment so I could focus on WuTang Management for the 20th year release, 5 years before that, and 25th year release after that. So I stopped for like 10 years, and doing the 10 years. Hold on one second, please.
Good.
hey, that's a real deal studio happening right there.
Yeah, that's all that is. That's work for real. It ain't for play. Hey, look, we'll come back. We'll come back to Jimmy. We'll come back to. Oh, here he is.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I had to turn the radio off. I don't know. Tony, put your stuff on.
You got a live studio.
Tony, put your stuff on mute.
I'm okay.
Put it on mute, bro.
That's not even the studio. That's the office. I'm in the studio.
No, I'm in the.
Okay.
Yeah,
My
Tony
fault.
just walked into. Tony just walked into a studio right now, because he was sitting next to me and it was echoing. All right, so with the Str8Up Entertainment, so I stopped that for a while, and then now during the COVID, it was a blessing because I kind of got to sit down and kind of reflect on everything myself. Wu-Tang stuff is kind of sitting there. You know, we're not really doing anything right now. None of the shows are. So doing that, I'm working on the Probus. Got to meet Victor to help the whole situation out with that, which is going to open up the industry. And opened up Str8Up Entertainment again because I opened up a recording studio for the past, well, now it's been like 6 years probably, but once I opened it for 4 years, I had it open to the city of Worcester for free. So all the kids and everyone could go in there and record. They could engineer, they could produce, you know, they could work all together. And
That's dope.
Now I found out who I want to push, who's who and who's what, instead of, you know, people that's just sticking around doing nothing, because they're just a weight in your backpack. Instead of helping you carry the backpack, they'll just sit in your backpack. So I got rid of most of them out of my cipher doing that. And so now, you know, we're getting the core team together to push Str8Up Entertainment right. So as my partners, you know, I put Big Nate as one of my partners because he's been sitting next to me for the past like 6 years, coming up with the game plan. So, you know, that's rightfully due. And I got some power hitters, Michael Wright, that has, you know, that works with Universal and Empire, and Rob Terrell that works with Sony and everything. I put them as one of my execs because one's from Atlanta, one's from Florida, and I'm up here. So we just made a connection to make things happen. So now Sony had told me to open up Str8Up Entertainment again. Well, Lamar from Sony, he's the master distributor for Sony and Orchard. So I opened it up, and we're about to push everyone. Whoever wants to get down, you know, we got full distribution. We're gonna help the situation out. We have everything ready. We own everything. We don't need anything. We own a studio. We own tour buses. We own shuttle buses. We own stores. We have it all. So it's time for us to actually make that push. And the first push I wanted to do for my team that's been right next to me the whole time, that struggled all his life, was Big Nate. So I'm like, all right, Big Nate, you know, you've been around me the whole time, so we're going to get this thing really rocking and moving, you know, and that's where my position and everything was with Big Nate, to put him on, not only as an artist, but give him part of my company too, to show him love. Like, it ain't just music, you know, this whole thing, you know, as you live, you become friends and you get bond with certain people. And once you get that bonding, you know, it becomes to the next level where you just want to help everyone around you. Especially, I feel as though, like, I'm not the smartest person in the world. You know, I make a lot of mistakes too, but I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, but God blesses me where it just happens. So I just try to bless everyone around me and try to make the best of everything, you know, and try to teach the people around me how to be better. And I'm still trying to teach myself how to be better every day. No.
Oh, that's good. I appreciate you sharing that. You shared a lot of gems on that. And I appreciate the fact that you're looking to help build up people. And I think that's within the industry, we need more of that. We need more people having a heart to share their wealth of their knowledge and also make, you know, build successors. So that's good. I appreciate that. I'm gonna hop to the artist, Big Nate. Definitely want to talk to you, man, for a second, man. If you can kind of share a little bit of your background, your upbringing, man, your love for hip hop and where you are now.
Yeah, right now it says I'm on Jimmy Kang's channel, but yeah, yeah, Big Nate, man. As far as hip hop, the music side you talking about?
Yeah. Like, how did you even get into hip hop?
Be honest with you, man. My mom was a big influence in that. She passed away in 2010, and it's kind of my transition from sports to music. And I felt like a big of that was her, man. I felt like I had her passion was music for me, even though I played sports. She couldn't be out of my sports games, you know what I'm saying? My dad was locked up. So just the music side, I had a big story to tell. And as far as the sports to the music, you know, I had troubles in the streets and I was around a lot of stuff, I've been around a lot of stuff as a kid, and just had a story, man. And I got a lot of people in the city that really respect me as far as different cultures from the sports and then from the street side of things. So, you know, I always had a story to talk about. And as far as the hip hop side, it's like I was influenced by, you know, kind of a lot of originators as far as WuTang and, you know, Biggie, Big Pun and all those kind of guys. And then I've been fortunate the last 3 years to be on tour with the Clan and all these guys. And I'm seeing, you know, a lot of these guys made it to their 50s and they're eating right. And it's just not about the music side of things. So I've just been blessed lately to be able to be around the right people as I'm maturing, you know what I mean? And Jimmy's been a big influence on that, and just us going through a lot here and me seeing artists who we gave opportunities to build up, not take advantage of those, allowed me to become the leader more around here, to be like, you know what, you guys got to, if anything, I can lead by example is what I was always taught versus even talking, you know what I mean? Because we could talk all day and we could we can sit here and preach to people, but if you out there, you really lead by example for, you know what I mean? Whether in sports, for me, it was just putting the numbers on the board, hitting home runs, getting on base. I could yell at my team all day, but they're like, oh, this kid ain't selfish. He do whatever it does to get on base. So it's kind of the same thing with this music stuff. It's like, you know, in a way, it's like with the right team, I'm doing whatever I got to do to get on base, but I'm making sure I'm paying respects to the hip hop community as well, because there's been a lot of confusion with music lately. So.
No, that's good. Talk a little bit about you said something, man. You know, you getting into hip hop, man. You know, your mom influenced you to get into hip hop. And then, if I heard you correctly, you said she got sick. Did she get some type of sickness or something?
Yeah, she actually passed away in 2009. And unfortunately, I was in AAA baseball. I was playing big league camp with Roy Halladay, Vernon Wells, whole Toronto Blue Jays camp. And you know, when the season goes out, you get 6 months, 7 months. You're out for like a while.
Right.
They gave her 8 months to live. So, yeah, I pretty much had to make a decision that a lot of people don't have to make. So, to me, I just chose my family at the time. And then when I got home, I got caught up in a lot of marijuana stuff. And now weed's legal out here. So, it's crazy because now I'm partnering with dispensaries.
Right.
And, you know, I got my products coming out through dispensaries. And now, you know, 10 years ago, it was illegal. So, with all that being said, it geared me towards music. It was kind of my passion, and it was my story to be told.
No, that's good. What I was hitting on, though, the question I was about to ask, because we talk about mental health awareness a lot. That's why we're getting ready to put on a mental health, a hip hop mental health solution type event. What was your mental state, man? I mean, come on. I mean, I know you're going through a tough process. You're pretty much starting to get to that point. You made it to the major leagues. Your mom, you know, gets sick. You have to make that decision, but you made the right decision. You go take care of family. How was your mental state, man, during that time and in that process? Man.
Well, my little sister was still in high school too, you know, so I had to really focus on family. But my mental state was, you know, my mom raised me a certain way, man. So it kind of it geared towards that. It always played back in my mind, you know what I mean? My mom always told me that, you know, she wouldn't be around forever. So at that moment, you know, that's what triggered to me. It was just a mental state of making sure my family comes first. So if that makes any sense, it was a mental state of remember where I came from. You know what I'm saying? So versus gearing off, and at this point where I'm at now, 10 years later, I would be regretting, even though I probably have a contract worth $100 million, I would regret, you know, forgetting where I came from per se. And I learned a lot seeing what my mom went through at that point. So I would really just be like, you know, it made me stronger, man. Stronger because, you know, they say pain could be your fuel. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, you know, but I went through my time, to be honest with you. I went through my depression for 2 years, and I stopped everything and made sure whatever I was doing was correct, you know, and then I got into music. So it wasn't just a quick transition for me. So I actually went through a lot in between realizing music is where my passions are at. And I think a lot of that's due to my mom not being there.
No, that's good.
You know.
No, that's good, and I appreciate you sharing that, man. Like I said, that's a huge component within music, and within just in general, man, mental health itself. But I always argue, man, that music can be therapeutic for people that's going through, you know, tough times.
Oh man,
depressing times.
Music saved my life. Let's put it that way. So, and it still is saving my life right now. That's why I'm glad to be in a position as a boss and as a exec, so I could see the artists that really, you know what I'm saying, might relate to me or I related to, or just in general, everybody needs somebody to be able to boost them up. You know what I mean? Look out for them. We all can't do it on ourselves, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, position I'm in, and I've been fortunate being, I will give back, and that's what I'm focused on. You know what I'm saying? Me as an artist is completely different as the businessman. That's the kind of crazy part too. So mentally, I've kind of adjusted to that, knowing that, you know what I'm saying, it's still the same goal. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me, it's about the team, you know?
No, that's good. If you could give some wisdom to an inspiring artist who's listening out there, who's trying to get their career started, what would you say to them?
And number one thing I would tell them is do never give up, and just make sure you got more than one, you know, more than one source of income. Meaning, you know, whether you're selling your CDs, whether you're helping, you know, lemonade stands, selling merchandise, just gotta make sure you have more than one source of income, you know, as an artist coming up, because, you know, it's tough, man. A lot of, to keep the train going, you gotta make sure you're feeding the engine, you know. So like that's what a lot of this comes down to. It's just making sure that as a businessman that's established, You could be an artist, but just make sure you're trying to be a businessman in the process.
Appreciate that, Big Nate, man. We definitely chime in and get back to you.
Hey,
go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to, we have special guest that tuned in here from Listen Pay. He's really, I believe, building the back engine for the future of the music business. And just before he has to step off, just wanted to see if we can just bring him on board real quick. Michael from Listen Pay.
Cool. Thank you, Brandon. Nice to meet everyone. My name's Michael Silvassi. I'm CEO and founder of a tech company out of Nashville, Tennessee called Listen Pay. And we've been building out the framework and the platform for about a year. The abridged version is it's an incentivized content engagement system. We take, the out of the box YouTube, Spotify, et cetera, iTunes, APIs that they provide you. We customize them, and then we give you a lot of options. Basically, the goal is to help artists, any kind of content creators, monetize their engagement. So you're not just relying on the 0.00001 cent that Spotify gives you. So it provides you with a lot of analytics. We've actually have the past 6 months, because of the COVID thing, one of my co-founders actually got us involved in a telehealth company, and we're actually doing a pilot test with their users. And then one of my other soon-to-be investors, he's got us working with a logistics company, and they're using their YouTube video library to incentivize engagement for safety, compliance, and diversity initiatives, things of that nature. But it all ties in ultimately, whether it's the music industry trying to, an artist trying to monetize their content, whether it's logistics and trucking companies trying to have their employees engage, whether it's the healthcare industry having patients or providers, utilizing the content, being able to utilize the in-depth, very comprehensive analytics and be able to customize that is very good. And it gives you a lot more control, because the fact that maybe one day YouTube, this is kind of an extreme example, YouTube could shut down, but you already have the platform built and you could just interchange it with another video platform or your own self-published. If you had self-hosted, if you wanted to do self-hosting videos with some of the new Angular and .NET framework APIs, you can actually do a lot of self-hosting and streaming with Azure cloud stuff. There's a lot of nice new robust stuff that they build into the engine to help you self-stream, so you're not completely relying on YouTube. I mean, YouTube's great because obviously the reach and the sharing and the engagement and how you can grow your audience and following and user base exponentially. So there's a lot of things I can get into, but what I'll do through Brandon, I will send you out a Listen Pay media kit here in the next couple of weeks. We're wrapping up this year. We've got our first round of financing probably coming first of next year. We're finishing up all the legal stuff for that. As Brandon, Will Brown, he's got one of his clients is right now pilot testing, doing a beta test on it as well through a pilot group. So it's growing. It started off me as being a music producer, but never really making any money in the music industry. And then, my day job was a software developer. I just kind of was always thinking on how to utilize the technology that was out there. And it's kind of funny because it's a parallel 20 years ago when I first got in the music business. And I was, doing the whole just band thing, touring and recording. A buddy of mine in Atlanta had just started doing websites, and I was still playing music, trying to do it full time. And by me going down there and learning how to do websites actually transitioned me into being a software developer. So my failed music career as a young kid transitioned me being a software developer. Now that's what I've been doing for a day job. And now my daughter, she just graduated college from Moody Bible Institute and just got married. And I'm in here in Nashville doing software development and using my experience and technical knowledge and expertise in the music business. And so all that's come full circle. So I hope that was not too esoteric and too much of a ramble. So thank you guys for your time.
Yo, that was awesome, Michael. When you said that name, Will Brown, and I thought about how I met him at Novel Co-working Space in Nashville, and he said, He said, you got to meet this guy, Michael. And I got up there like 9:30 a.m. or whatever, 9 o'clock a.m. I sat and I didn't understand what you showed me, but I knew what you showed me was big when you talk about the gamification of marketing and of the, they call it the super fan. So you're a blessing, man. The times that we've had at Just Love Coffee, you're sharing with me the vision. I feel like what Jimmy Kang and Str8Up Entertainment, what we've shared with Cleveland, Nashville, and with Ash from Flight House being on here. Just want to thank you for coming on and sharing that. And we're going to do we'll do a future something. We'll probably do a back end connector with some of the people on this call, with some other people, for you to really give a solid demo of Listen Pay and how that whole process works.
That sounds great. Well, thanks again for the invite, Brandon. And I really enjoyed listening to all of you nice people. And hopefully we will talk again soon. And I got to jump off here and take my girlfriend's son to.
Real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
So that's listenpay.com?
Yeah, we don't have anything up yet. We're still getting all the legal stuff up. So that's why we haven't put anything up at all. We have like listenpay.io, and then we're going to have like, we have another iteration of it called Health Lane, which is actually a spin-off. We have like Health Lane powered by ListenPay, and that's more for the healthcare side of it and the logistics side of it. So it's just kind of a play on words. But ListenPay is going to be the pure brand. I've trademarked the brand. I've got all the legal stuff done. And then we're just trying to work out our equity shares with the first initial co-founders and all that. And then we're going to go live with a full-on comprehensive, kind of an official launch. And again, like I said, once that should be done here in the next couple of weeks, and I'll send out an official media packet digitally for everyone to review, so that way you can get more, and then that way you guys can just start pinging me, hey, this is great, and like I told Brandon, I would love to set up some licenses for you guys, just some free of charge licenses. Hey, I'll give you a 6-month license to embed this into your whether your website or your social media platform, and start using it and just kind of see what kind of feedback you get from your super fans.
Absolutely.
Dope. Do you guys have a social media at all, Michael?
Yeah, it's all coming. Yeah, it's all coming.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like we had to make, like, kind of funny. It's kind of ironic that Brandon named us a pivot, because again, ultimately the whole company, I came up with the whole idea, wrote most of the code about a year ago. So I had like 90% of the code done, but then the business application was there was still something missing there. So when COVID hit, I met with Will in March, and he said, instead of making this, because he knew some Spotify influencers, we were going to go that direction initially, but because there was this instant demand, the most urgent demand was for the healthcare side. So we've really been putting all our time and effort, but it's been great because it's been giving us a chance to bulletproof a lot of the modules and things like that, and really work through any bugs and stuff that it might have. Implementation, because like in the corporate world, we have kind of like your embedded Listen Pay, and then you have like Listen Pay Pro, then you have Listen Pay Enterprises, and so several tiers of the pricing schedule, and what each licensing buys you and how much support that buys you. For like an artist, they can just put like a nice little embedded footer or embedded sidebar on their site here, sit here for engage our Listen Pay. And then, you could actually have, so what we might have is participating networks. So one artist might just want to say, hey, I want to, basically you enter your email, generate your hash key, and with that hash key, basically encapsulates and embodies all of your engagement. So then once you've earned 1,000 tokens or something, you can say, hey, go to our merch site, and with those 1,000 tokens, so if you watched one of our videos or listened to 15 of our songs, you've earned 600 tokens. With that 600 tokens might be the equivalent of, it's all arbitrary. It could be 25% off a t-shirt or something. Something to that effect, and then there's like the network side, where you could log in and say, hey, well, I want to be a part of I forgot the girl's name at the beginning, Ash, and her organization. They might want to do something where they might have 20 artists all sharing, a second tier. So you could be, your email address at whatever, and you could have several hash keys. One hash key might be for just one artist. One hash key might be for a whole network of artists. So, the artist could collaborate and say, hey, yeah, we're willing to, honor that and redeem that discount on our, we might do a merch store share kind of thing. So it's completely, it's very customizable and like that. I mean, the sky's the limit on how you want to do it. But obviously when we start, the beta testing, we want to just do something very focused just to kind of get the initial feedback and, and then just kind of grow, start implementing all the more complex features later. But, just ultimately get people engaged, see how much they're using it, let the content creators be able to look at the analytics, and then they, then that'll give them a nice guide to say, okay, here's what content's working, here's what's not. And then, also it helps you get feedback from the actual fans to say, yeah, we really like this. I'm using the reward system a lot it makes me want to, instead of going to your Spotify page, I'll just come straight to your homepage and everything could be aggregated right there. Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all in one place. And then all that activity is being tracked and logged, and also granted, also you as a user are getting credits for that engagement. So I kind of equate it to you're kind of extending the digital olive branch to your users.
Oh, that's good.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we also appreciate you taking the extra time here with us, Michael, from Listen Pay out of Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much, brother. You have an amazing one, and we'll do something where we can make sure we get Jimmy, Ash, and everybody on this
thank
call.
you, Michael. That's pretty dope. Great concept.
Yeah. Cool. Great, guys. Well, it's been great listening to you guys. Really enjoyed it. I look forward to speaking to you here in the next couple of them. So y'all take care, and I'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Michael. Tell Will I said hi.
Yes, sir.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. All right. So that was just a little quick break from Big Night All-Star to Michael from Listen Pay. I'm going to bring it back over to DJ Focus.
So yeah, we'll keep going around the board. But we definitely got to talk about the other legend in the building, Anthony Lombardo. He's on the call with us too as well. I know he got a lot going on too as well. You want to share everything you've been a part of?
I think today, mainly my role here is just I wanted to get Jimmy and Nate in front of you guys, and you and I have had the pleasure of talking several times, and Brandon, but today, this is mainly about the music part of it. It's not, so this is, Nate and Jimmy, and I'm just here to support them in any way. I've been blessed to be, brought into it by Jimmy and working for Jimmy. So
Tony helps me out a lot on personal stuff, like doing everything to make sure I get a lot of things done because I can't be everywhere at once.
Right. I get it.
It's in, Jimmy puts it there. We're a hardworking cipher, and Nate embodies that. Like Nate said, he's an entrepreneur, he's a talent, he's always working, and I think that Jimmy working every day, and I embed that in how we go about doing what we can to help the cipher. It's all about helping the whole cipher completely. So
we got the whole block on lock over here, right across.
The whole block on
we got
lock.
the store, we got the clothing store, we got the office, we got the studio, we got the apartments. We all right here.
Yeah.
That's how we wake up every day, just go downstairs and work every day. So everyone's together.
No, that's good. That's good. I know we're waiting on Victor to get back, but Jimmy, can you talk a little bit about ProBus Entertainment Studios, Thunder Studios, a little bit? Oh, there's Victor.
Yeah, Victor.
I thought he
left.
Yeah,
I'm back, bro. I was just listening.
Tell everyone about Thunder Studios and ProBus and what we're doing.
Oh man, guys, let me tell you, we're excited. We're so excited, man. I give you a little bit of background on myself. I've been in entertainment business pretty much all my life with family and doing concerts in Mexico and singing myself back in the day. Before my ex-wife took my beauty and my youth. But now we're back in the mix again, thanks to Jimmy and all the connections we made with Thunder Studios, and we created in this pivot, like we were talking about, everything. I do also real estate development, beachfront properties in Mexico. So we with the COVID hitting, we just knew we had to do some new things, and we got called into the studio to create some synergy there for Thunder. And in 2014, I had come up with an idea of doing boxing through the internet with Golden Boy, with Oscar de la Hoya. And back then we were doing it in stage as a company called GMT Studios out of Los Angeles. And at that point, we were just too ahead of the game. They wanted, butts in the seats, and they weren't thinking about, doing live streams with the fight game at that point. But we had foreseen that it could be the wave of the future. And then now 2020 comes around, we get the hit with the COVID, and I start seeing Dana White doing his shows in Florida with nobody inside the stadium. So I quickly pivoted with Rolando Nichols, who's a partner at the Thunder Studio, along with other team members of myself, and we set up the boxing arena and did a promo for DAZN, all the major fight promoters, Golden Boy, Top Rank, the whole gamut of all the different promoters. Spoke with Al Heyman about it as well, which he was ahead of the game as well at that point. But we had a great successful launch of showing that we can do it behind the scene with no audience, just do it with the commission and the fighters. And then quickly we realized that the music industry has the same problem. So we pivoted over to the concert side, and that's when I reached out to Jimmy through a great friend of mine, Michael Reda, who met Jimmy and put us together. And it just started like wildfire, man. We started getting calls from different promoters on the concert side, and started doing walkthroughs. And realistically, I think Jimmy can elaborate on it, but when you go into our studios, we have a 150,000 square foot facility and on 6 acres of land. So they're pretty impressive. When you go into sound stages there, it's just phenomenal. So
yeah, I mean, I've been to a lot of studios, being with the clan and everything, but this facility is amazing, like state of the art. I mean, it's like I bet the places I made had 2 rooms like that, maybe 3 rooms, but not 14. It's like I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty impressive place, and on top of it, we're able to keep it all contained. Where we even have our own cafe restaurant where we can do our own catering inside in house. We have our own chefs. We have the coffee shop. I mean, it's just a perfect place to get the job done, and we've created this atmosphere there where now people are realizing. As a matter of fact, major artists have been coming to the table to bring bigger productions. We can go on the low end of the like I said, of the spectrum on production. For startup people that are need a little help to get started. We're working with those budgets, but pretty much on the high end too. We're unlimited. Really, it just like we had an amazing video wall set up 20 foot by 100 feet the other day for a concert, and the lighting and stage. The production, that was like at least a $350,000 production for 2 days. So it's just unlimited what we can do there. And then the green screens and that we can use. So pretty much however creative you can get, we can do it. So we're looking forward to creating these partnerships, and thanks to Jimmy and his contacts and all his team. We've been really busy nonstop throughout the whole COVID. And now Brandon, discussing with you the possibilities, man, we're really excited to keep it going. But it's always a pleasure to work with everybody that's got that same mentality.
Yeah, Victor, what I wanted to do was, because we really at Cleveland Nashville Connection, we believe in mentorships, and it's all about who you're connected with as well, being honest, teachable, just open-minded, that whole concept. And when we got on the call, when Jimmy decided to put you on the call while I was in Nashville, and we talked, it was like we hit it right off. We could tell, like, wow, this thing just went to another level. Hip Hop Salutes is going to happen. We're going to raise some amazing awareness for mental health and honor. A big part, I think, that's missing, that a lot of the old school hip hop guys, and even just some of these things in culture is the culture of honor. And my company we had the opportunity to honor the legendary Cardiac Kids, Brian Sight. And by getting the opportunity to work with the Cleveland Browns AV team, First Energy Stadium, I started to see like, wow, these concepts and these principles where COVID pushed some people back really pushed them back. For others, it pushed us back and we got slingshot forward, because diligence of guys like Jimmy, Kang, Anthony, yourself, our team. I just want to bring on a young guy from Studio 44 that's been part of the Cleveland Nashville Connection Stream team, and just give Jay an opportunity. This guy's been back in Cleveland Rocks with his business partner, Dave, from a grassroots level. I mean, they're helping handle multiple venues in Cleveland. And then to have an opportunity to touch base with somebody like yourself, running a major operation. Jay, can you jump on real quick and just share a couple, maybe just a little tidbits about yourself, maybe ask Victor some questions about Thunder. And I think that's a huge part for somebody up and coming like yourself and the headway you guys have made in Cleveland. Let's see.
I think we might have lost him.
Oh, that's all right. Well, then I can do the connecting for him. I'll just.
We'll be there. Yeah, definitely. Anytime.
But check this, right? So now, Victor.
Yes.
Look what Brandon got in place, right? Look what Brandon got in place. Brandon said he wanted to do the show. Now he got Ash in line. Ash's company got 27 million followers. So on average, if you market to 27 million followers or whatever market you do, you usually get 10% if you do a really good job. Correct?
Correct.
So if you get 10%, that's 2.7 million. Now, if you put the nice lineup together where Ash could bring in the Flight House could promote to 27 million followers. You get 2.7 million followers watching the stream at $20. That's $54 million that you get a split in less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That this will change everyone's lives. And more than that, $54 million that you get a split. So let's say
you can probably hit more people if you promote it right. But.
Of course. But let's say 54 million divided by 2. So you guys get to take home like 27 million in 3 hours and then split it whichever way possible, right? So now out of $27 million, you could redo another show real quick because you got the money now. You could do whatever you want and make that money again. So this is a jump start where you guys could utilize Thunder Studios to actually get this thing rocking and change the livelihood of your generations of wealth just off 5 shows.
Yeah, but I think that you make a great point, Jimmy. We were talking about that months ago, that if we brought the right people together, we've talked about how many performances we've lost in the year that we can recuperate in a few shows what we've lost all year.
Well, you got to think, right off the bat, the promoters, most of the promoters spent $1.2 to maybe $2 million for a big show at a concert or a festival to bring in like 10 acts. 3 headliners, 10 acts. But they do that throughout the year and they do like 5 shows. They're spending like probably $5 to $6 million throughout the year so they can make a mill back. Try to make that mill back.
Yeah.
No? That's their issue.
And audiences, we're talking about
now,
they
got no overhead. They can walk right in, do the show, split the stuff, and now instead of doing all those shows to make that in one show, they're leaving with more than they could even imagine that they could do in a lifetime.
Yeah. Hey, Ash, can you step in maybe give a realistic view on, I know you guys have been breaking the Billboard Top 100, for artists. How would that look, Ash, on a live show concept like what we're doing for Hip Hop Salutes? Or even these duo concerts like Chief Keef or some other duo concerts when people come in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because with Gen Z, right now and just how the industry treated live streaming when COVID hit and how people, Gen Z at least, has kind of been experiencing it, has been that it's a free experience, which definitely doesn't make sense for the music industry. But for whatever reason, when COVID started, everyone was doing these kind of, hey, we're going to do some kind of live streamed show and it's going to benefit a cause or it's just going to be free. So I think we would have to work through some hurdles of getting Gen Z on board to pay for something like this.
Well, you got to think, right? The Korean pop stars, BTS.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up next. Yeah.
You know, those guys made like what, 978 million in one day or something like that.
Something fucking crazy. Yeah.
Like 978 million in 3 hours they did, but they did a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, I think that what we could also, the added value here now is we haven't even mentioned the sponsorships and the end of the year, how everybody's really, they're struggling to see where their marketing dollars is going out.
All these people right now, because people are not out because of COVID, everyone's indoors. So they need content. So people are even understanding in Netflix movies and stuff where people are actually buying into product placement for movies, TV shows, a lot more. Even in independent movies, they're buying product placement because they need to be out there. And everyone's indoors right now. So whatever content we put in the media, people are going to watch. Look at Tiger King. He became #1. Carol Baskin was Dancing with the Stars. Like, that was, you know, like, it's crazy how they flipped the whole thing because everyone's indoor watching it. So
and I think there's even something, you know, with like connecting or somehow involving influencers in this in some way. You know, that's what our bread and butter is working with all these big creators on TikTok, and their audience is so engaged. You know,
and Victor, and that's where Ash comes in, because Ash with TikTok reaches out to all the the Zen generation, like she said, like it's the new generation that's on TikTok and everything, where they have 27 million followers. How to get 27 million
and those impressions alone.
That don't happen. It's all the young kids.
Those impressions alone are very, very strong points for bringing advertising dollars so that we can actually adjust on costs for, you know, to the end user.
Absolutely. That's a strong 27
point.
Especially the young kids, because now it's like you're marketing to the young kids that's just going to grow older with you.
Correct. But I think that it's a combination of all. And again, we spoke about this before, Jimmy. We are evolving as we speak. We're evolving on the system, and we're creating it together. And I really was paying attention to Ashley when you were talking about how, you know, your startup and you didn't know a lot of things what direction that we're taking, and now you're in the profit zone. So I believe that's exactly the same that's happening with us on the live stream and on the concerts. We are evolving and we're learning and we're going as we speak. But it's all a matter of just putting our heads together to figure it out and then fund it the way it's supposed to be so that we can make it a profitable ongoing situation.
No, that's good. That's good. I know you got disconnected, Jay, but if you can kind of share a little bit, Brandon asks if you can share a little bit of what you do.
Yeah, I just real quick, guys, I might be getting disconnected. I have another Zoom calling, but I definitely I want to thank everyone for the opportunity just to get to know each other. And Jimmy, you know, you pretty much you're pro us all the way too. So whatever we can do to keep on going forward and with these relationships and making them stronger, I just want to let everybody know we're here to do whatever it takes to go forward and help out.
No, we definitely appreciate it.
I'm gonna be in LA in a couple of weeks. San Diego, I gotta come see your place out there, man.
Yeah, Victor.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be in LA. I think on the 12th through like for the whole week. Nate's gonna be out there too.
We'll be waiting for you guys. We got some good events coming up too. Again, another thing I want to share with you guys is the Latin market. I don't know if we've been touching on that side with anybody here, but we're getting a lot of traction with the Latino market. This week alone, we've got a lot of A-list artists that have been ready to meet next week to start doing the same thing. So again, whatever we can do to help each other out and make a mark, we're here for you guys. Jimmy, you know that you're a part of us already, and we're here to roll with everybody else.
All day,
really appreciate you, Victor. There's somebody we're looking at for hip hop salutes that's really key in that San Diego, Long Beach area with the Latino. He's well respected in the faith infused hip hop side and just been at it since the 90s. So I'm gonna make sure I reach out to him and let him know see if we can connect us for what we're doing with hip hop salutes. But he might be a good taproot to bring in some what you're doing with the Boys and Girls Club and some things out there. I think it's amazing what y'all are doing to make a difference.
definitely here to just everybody grow together, man. And God bless you all. I want to mention that as well, man. We've been in heavy duty prayer. Jimmy knows we do everything with God first in everything we do. And that's another connection that's given us the strength to go forward. And I think that, we got some favor just being on the phone with everybody today, that God's looking out for us. We keep it going.
God blesses me, but God blesses me every day. That's why I try to do right for everyone every day.
Every day, brother.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Well, Ash, nice meeting you. Looking forward to speaking again, and everybody on the call. Thank you again, and for giving me the time to speak a little bit. And it was wonderful hearing how you guys' progress, and looking forward to be teaming up very soon.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thanks.
Victor. Hey, Victor.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Like right now you're wearing a crown on your head. Your background.
Oh yeah. That's the new Cobus logo, Jimmy. That represents the Christ right there. It's the tribe of Judah. Yeah. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and the power of God be with us, brothers. God bless you guys all.
Appreciate you, Victor. You're a blessing.
All right,
thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye, Ash.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it does get better than this. Ash, I just want to defer over to you because you truly are a very special guest to have with us here. You represent, I love what you guys say as far as like building a bridge with the next generation, because you really validate your company with Jacob, yourself, what you guys are doing, you validate this next generation. So maybe give us a little insight of what you see it's going to take to build bridges with Generation Z and where things are going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly, it's something that we try to put first is us really being part of the culture and really understanding the culture. And Gen Z is more woke than like any other generation in so many senses, in terms of them seeing through, they've been raised with like social media their whole life. They've seen all this stuff, and it's a lot harder to fake anything with them. And so whether it's an artist, a label, a brand, a company, anything that's trying to kind of break through with them, they can see through it if it's like facetious or like just trying to seem like you get Gen Z. So I think it's just super important to really make sure that anything that you're doing is truly ingrained in the culture. And I think for us, it's about creating culture and not following it as well. And it's been a crazy ride because TikTok has just had this huge impact on the community, on Gen Z, and TikTok culture became Gen Z culture. And, it's the trends that start on TikTok are becoming super, super mainstream. And I think, building those bridges is being agile and being able to evolve and grow and adapt to all these new things that come so much more quickly than they did ever before. So trends right now, also, it's hard to really plan anything for like 6 months, a year. We work with a bunch of more traditional brands and see that they are already planning things out for next year. And we're really pushing for them to, hey, we can't lock in creative right now because it would be so tone deaf if we were to still roll with something that was trendy right now 1 year from now. So I think bridging those gaps is just all about staying super in touch with what's going on and being able to react quickly, and no matter what industry you're in.
Good. That's, because what I notice a lot of times is what we see is we got brilliant people from who came up in the 90s, and what we're seeing now, there's a hunger for the adult contemporary hip hop to hear what these legends from the 90s, what they had to say now. And something that I think people, they see maybe this younger generation, they might lack honor, but what a big thing of what they might lack is there's a misunderstanding that they're not being validated for what they actually can do, where while they're being forced to go through this 12-year system, go through a college system, when some of these kids could be like college professors. Maybe just touch a little bit on just what you're seeing, maybe a couple of these top influencers within your guys' network who we could take some notes from, because Gary Vee is a very prominent person in his 40s who's a bridge builder who really does a great job of validating this next generation. And I'm seeing that link with you guys, that you do the same. So maybe you can touch on, maybe identify a couple of these influencers that we should be keeping an eye out for and lessons we could learn from them.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, like we're seeing, you know, today, like Gen Z got out the vote and like really made a fucking difference. And I think it just goes to show that they are able to like really make things happen. And if they go out there and make changes, and we're seeing so many changes that are coming from things that they're directly doing, and they do have a really strong voice and a really strong impact. And I think in terms of people that would like individual people that will move the needle, it's becoming less and less easy to pinpoint those people, because especially on TikTok, how you consume media on TikTok is different than any other platform before, even any other social media. Because TikTok is, you know, there used to be more of like a general mainstream, and you could cover that on MTV, you could cover that on one kind of platform. But now with how TikTok works is that it's so good at serving people content that they want to see. So what my TikTok For You page looks like is completely different to what any of your For You pages would look like. So you see totally different things. And so it's a lot easier for these like niche communities to have their moments and rise to the top of that kind of clutter. And so instead of there being just a bubblegum pop mainstream, we're seeing a lot more of these like alternative cultures kind of pop up and become mainstream for a moment. You know, Dogface, that skateboarder with drinking the cranberry juice. No history would his personality or person be a mainstream celebrity. But because of how entertainer like content is shared and consumed, we're seeing a lot of these moments happen. And so it's harder to say, you know, specific people to tap into. Like, sure, there are the Charlie and Dixie D'Amelios and Addison Rae who are that bubblegum mainstream. On TikTok, they call it like straight TikTok. So there's straight TikTok and alt TikTok. And straight TikTok is just like the dancing, the lip syncing, and then alt TikTok is just everything else. And there are those people, but I think the real answer is just like there's so many small influencers and creators that are so influential in their own communities and their own spaces that it's hard to really say, you know, who to specifically keep an eye out for, because there's just so many that become so influential. And that's what it is about really being in touch with what's going on, is that, you know, you can keep an eye out. And
well, kind of like what you said, somebody on Instagram can be real famous, but if they share their TikTok video to Instagram, then all of a sudden it brings a lot of traffic to TikTok.
Yeah, that
So
exactly.
Somebody with 1 million followers on Instagram can literally bring 100,000 people to TikTok because introduce them to that. So,
yeah, and even on TikTok, it's crazy. Like you can, so on Instagram, for you to upload a piece of content and to go viral, you need to have a following. That's just how Instagram works. But TikTok, legitimately, you can upload your first video ever with 0 followers. And because of how the algorithm works, it like places that in front of people. And if the right levers are pulled, your first video with 0 followers could hit millions and millions of views. And so, you know, it's a lot easier for creators and just everyday people to like hit more of a mainstream audience.
It's good. Now, real quick, Ash. So the 2 big ones that we're hearing a lot about is TikTok and Twitch. And there's big differences, obviously, because Twitch has a totally different model than TikTok. Maybe can you share like the differences and complementary, why people should do both, or if you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we don't really work on Twitch much, but because Twitch to me, I mean, is a lot more just kind of live streaming. It definitely got started more in the gaming space, and it's more of kind of a long form like platform, whereas TikTok is just so short form. Everything has to be under 60 seconds. TikTok does have the option to go live, but it's not as like user or consumer friendly as Twitch is for live streaming. And I think Twitch is much more beneficial to creators and that it's more of a revenue source. And whereas TikTok, you're starting to be able to get revenue from it, but you have to work a lot harder. I mean, TikTok just launched their creator fund a few months ago. I don't even know if it's live to the public yet, but it's a very small amount of money. And on TikTok also, sure, you can get brands to sponsor your content, but that's only once you hit a certain threshold that you can get in touch with brands. Whereas Twitch, you're able to like get audience members and viewers and create just diehard fans more easily that are going to be down to support financially, I think.
It's awesome. Yeah, we have friends with Road Nation, where what they did was they were funding bands on the road. And then when COVID hit, they flipped to virtual. And our former RIAA chair, Stephen Marks, he helped found Road Nation. So him and Maria, his business partner, they just pivoted, got women in music on board with Twitch. They started hitting the front page of Twitch. And when I go on their streams, I mean, they got like 1,500 people watching these showcases of pretty much people with 10 to 20,000 Instagram or whatever. I mean, they're not huge. They do have bigger, like they got like Gangsta Grass, which they infuse hip hop and bluegrass and stuff like into their deal. So they're a little bigger that I've seen on there. But what's cool is, I mean, somehow they were able to pull the relationship to get the front page of Twitch. And then these people are actually paying to watch these streams. Like they pay to comment. And so I'm still learning on that, but I think having somebody like yourself on here who understands just where the next generation is going, and be able to connect with Jimmy and Victor and Big Nate, Focus, so many more. We got a guy on this call real quick I want to pivot to, who spoke on our leadership segment a couple segments before. His name is Nathan from Wartime Leadership Blog, and he's just, we honor our military and our people. I can't say the details about him for certain reasons, I was told, but he's a very honorable person, which we believe in, the mental health aspect, and he does as well, and the importance of leadership in what we do as entrepreneurs. So, hey, Nate, do you have any questions for Jimmy or Ash that you'd like to touch base? Any comments? If you want to jump.
I just want to say it's an honor to be on here with y'all, because it's just amazing being able to hear the different aspects, as this have progressed through with Cleveland Nashville Connection and with these seminars. It's really been amazing to me to be able to hear and see the leadership aspects and how you all have pivoted in each of your different industries and each of the different types of music genres. Just the idea of pivoting is awesome. Pivoting, keeping one foot solidly placed in one area and then adjusting the other foot. When a defenseman comes up against you and they're pushing up against you, they're they're backing up and they're trying to keep you in that location and get you off your feet. What do? You pivot, you change directions just a little bit while keeping one place solidly sure. I've heard so many great points on this go round, particularly whenever they're talking about this generation. This generation is a generation of why, and they ask the why question all the time. But it's not to question us, right? It's not to question individuals that have been there, that have done that have seen. It's not to question that. It's rather it's there to say why. They want to know the concept. They want to know the in-depthness of why we do things the way that we do them, and then they adjust it to make it right for them. They adjust it to be able to work in their favor. So what can people like Jimmy, yourself, and everyone else on here, what can we do to help adjust and pivot with the generation, with the next generation that's coming up and listening to those, to the music, within the industry, knowing how the business works, knowing how this generation is so thirsty for knowledge. What can we do? What can you do?
Well, I'll hop in for a second. I think for me, at least for what I've been doing with my radio show, and how I've been able to reach out to them, a lot of them, like you said, they definitely want to know why, and they fact check everything. You cannot tell them anything that they don't research 5 times before they come back and have another conversation with you. So that was something new to me too as well. But I think it's key. The key point that's been working for me, they don't want to know how much you know until they know how much you care. Building that relationship with them, walking with them, understanding and listening to their perspective. I think a lot of times they don't feel like they're being heard, like their voice matters. So at least for me, in my experience, I think building that relationship, walking with them, understanding their perspective, and yeah, just building on that relationship. I think that's key, at least, and it's been working at least for me in my space.
It's a great Theodore Roosevelt quote there. Like it. My undergrad was political science. My master's has been in leadership, organizational leadership. I am active duty Air Force. So I am currently serving, which is kind of where that concept of wartime leadership has come. And this is something that we deal with all the time. You know, I'm 40 years old, 41, sorry. And I'm dealing with a lot of 18, 19-year-olds coming in, and I just spent 4 years as a military training instructor, you know, the drill instructor side for the Air Force. So that was my background of hearing this constant why. And what clicked was you're right, they're going to go research. They're going to know whenever they come back to come at you again with those questions. But you know, even coming from that point, when it's a shut up and color type of scenario, they still want to know the why. They're not going to question it. They just want to know the why behind it. So good stuff.
Yeah, you know, something I want to touch base on too is Jay. I know it cut out when I was going to you before to connect you with Victor, Jay, but Jay Sparrow from Studio 44, he's got multiple projects. He's helped the Cleveland Nashville connection, our stream team, with helping Cleveland Rocks past, present, and future. We got to work alongside the Cleveland Browns AV team. So Jay, hey, maybe just share a little bit of your perspective, because you're part of that bridge. I believe you're still, you know, at least in your mid-20s. You know what it's like to work with from different aspects. I mean, Jay, something I honor about Jay is I've watched him work with one of the top sound guys in Cleveland, who's kind of set in his ways. He's pretty opinionated, but very, very, very solid principally at what he does and who he is as a person. And I watched things get a little heated, and in the midst of us trying to do these, live concerts, virtual streams, and pivoting. And I watched Jay keep his cool. Him and Dave Decky really complement each other with what they do. So Jay, maybe just explain a little bit about like the real time of working cross-generationally, and also with really helping pioneer for the venues and stuff with the live streaming.
Yeah.
And what you're seeing.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, I've just been enjoying, like, obviously being a part of this in general and getting all your guys' input. But I relate to what Ash said earlier about would you say something about like creating the culture versus following it? Is that how you put it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and like how Brandon mentioned, you know, I'm 27, so sometimes I feel like I can relate to different generations before or after me a little bit differently, but I definitely think it's important to realize all those struggles in trying to follow something versus creating it, because this is the whole point of what we're talking about right now is how do we recognize what's going on, but also create something new and pivot to something that's going to work better. Because all these things that we've been talking about, as far as the you know, what exactly the algorithms are and this and that, that's already set in stone. I mean, unless you're creating something new, which is happening as well. So I you know, I don't know. I prefer direct questions.
Yeah. So Jay, what has been one of your like coolest maybe memories or aha moments that you were going in the right direction as far as with the live streaming?
Yeah, as far as live streaming goes, obviously, like Brandon said, it was a very huge deal to be able to work with the Cleveland Browns and First Energy and everything. That was, hometown goals, obviously. I'm not much into sports anymore because I'm busy, but as a kid, I could name all the players and stuff. So it was a very cool experience there. But just to see that potential despite, any technical hangups or just very practical barriers that we're all facing in different ways. And it proves just on the Zoom meeting itself where like we're not always completely in control of these things, and to be able to work with a team as best as you can to make these challenges overcomable. That's what it's all about, and that's what I've noticed works the best. I've been working on starting my studio for the past few years now, and hopefully officially next year will be completely legit. Studio 44 here out of Cleveland area. And it would not be possible at all if it wasn't for all the people that have been able to help me out and just give an opportunity, whether I can help them. That's my favorite part, really. And then we can get over those bridges. So
Yeah, and talk a little bit about what it was like. I mean, we literally in May, we went from, I think May 1st, we were at the Beachland, we did those string of events, and next thing you knew, like we were working with like Nami and Peel Them Layers back with Archie, doing something none of us had ever done, which was produce that webinar, man. And what was like being able to have to do that in real time. Now we have doctors on the call and with doing hip hop performances and that whole hodgepodge of figuring that out on the fly. What was that?
Yeah, it was definitely a huge test that I was not expecting to come of this year at all. I never saw myself getting into video really in general, unless it had exactly something to do with music, which obviously that's how Brandon and I met, and that's how everyone continues to connect, it seems, which is kind of interesting through all these different things. What's connecting us right now is the music. But yeah, I mean, I'm a music producer, I'm an instrumentalist, I'm a writer. I'm not a video tech by any means, but that's what we're doing now. So if it gives us the opportunity to launch into that next create that next gen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I think hit hard is it brought me back to what Big Nate All-Star was saying earlier about advice to artists with DJ Focus is like having multiple streams of income. And we noticed with Ryan from Cleveland Rocks and like just the whole that a lot of these guys who were solid had 1 foot, like Nathan from Wartime Leadership was saying, having that 1 foot solid in one area, you had 1 foot solid in audio, maybe a little experience in video here and there. And now we're seeing the guys rising up to the cream of the crop, like Ryan, yourself. It's like you were willing to make another stream of income. You weren't so like, oh, I'm just an artist. Oh, I'm just an entrepreneur that focuses in marketing. It's like, no, I'm still growing. I'm still figuring this out. So
yeah, we got to keep going. What was the last one? Keep it moving.
That's how we roll.
Just keeps building. Yeah, keep it moving. Now we pivot.
So I mean, we're gonna kind of wrap this up in a few minutes, but I think some of the things that I put down here was really having more of an abundance mentality. Like sometimes I could think, do I really want this thing streaming live on YouTube where somebody's just going to go hear what Michael from Listen Pay is saying or what you're saying? Or are they going to steal from us? And what I love is what Gary V from Vaynerchuk Media, what he talks a lot about is like, yo, I don't mind putting my stuff out there because I know 99% of people aren't going to do something with it. And and I got a better shot at working with that 1% than I do worrying about, is somebody going to steal this? Yeah, like go get your copyrights, go do your deal, do your due diligence, have wise counsel, get your attorneys, get your accountants. But if we're so busy about what we're going to lose, we could actually miss what sharing that wealth of information, sharing what we got, what that could grow into. So I see you and Dave doing it all
Yeah,
the time. Yeah,
I can attest to that. Yeah, I can attest to that because I can honestly say I'm one of the least prepared when it comes to legal stuff, which is probably not the right thing to say in this seminar, but you know, it, like you said, just put it out there.
Well,
Put it out there. Like,
well, I got a meeting with
hope
one
that
of the
everyone
top
likes what's
entertainment
going on.
attorneys by the grace of God next week, so I'm gonna actually start asking for some favors.
There you go.
And I know straight
Help
up
us out, Brandon, please.
Hey, hey, man,
Yeah,
I know
and
the
I'm,
one.
and I'm here, guys, listening to everything. I don't know what I did, but my video won't come back on.
See, Jimmy's got an attorney too. I know that one.
Absolutely. You already know, Billy Font.
Cool. Well, hey, Anthony, man, you've been in the mix. Like, you were a part of that mental health with Archie and with Jay. Jay was on the back end producing that. So maybe let's hear a little bit. And if you want to bring Gabby into the mix before we close this out here in a few.
I think real quick, I just, like I said, today was really about, you know, whenever I've been on it, you know, I was blessed to have met Jimmy Kang years and years ago, and he's always been a very valuable resource for me. And then I met you, and it gave me a way of voicing the mental health awareness, which, you know, is very close to my heart. You know, I'm retired out of the public school system since 2015, but I kept my licensure, and I continue to move forward and help people. And just, you know, again, you know, having you and Jimmy as resources in my life, you know, to help get that everything we're doing with Hip Hop Salutes. And, you know, I was so fortunate that we talked in that lobby in Texas. You know, that was one of the best days of my life. You know, like Jimmy said, I almost got stranded there. It was crazy all around, you know, everything. And I flew back on an American Airlines flight with 3 people on a big ass plane. I was crazy, you know, but got back to Providence and then back to Worcester. Everything's been breaking right, and I'm just very excited to move forward. Gabby's been a great resource for me personally, you know, since I've come back to Boston. I have been out of Boston for a while. I'm trying to get Fangs and Fins and Mallard going, and she's a great resource to me in that realm. So, you know, and like I said, I you know, I don't know everything, especially, you know, I've had small businesses in the past, and, you know, my businesses are in, you know, dealing with animals and aquariums. So it's a very different thing. And, you know, and I've been in the mental health realm. So I sort of adopted something in my life, and it's something that I know Jimmy does too, is I put very smart people around me that can help me and teach me. And I'm a life learner. I'm 50 years old, but you know, I stay active physically, playing lacrosse, and I'm always learning. You know, I'll take class. I've continued to take class and work past my master's and my BCBA, and got other clinician license. You know, just because I want to be a life learner. I want to be learning up until the end. And I could learn from the young generation, absolutely, on the tech side, because I know nothing. You know, I am by far the weakest member on this panel or on any panel when it comes to tech. Like they were talking about, Brandon's got to teach me how to use Slack and all this stuff. And I'm like, there's so many different names of things that I get like befuddled, but I'm sure they'll get me through it. But again, I'm just honored to have met you, and I'm very blessed to be in my situation in life, and I just want to continue to move forward. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. I want to say too, you become a very, very good friend of mine over time, and you know, I remember that moment when I was in Austin. So Jewel Big Green and Drop It India sent me out to rep for Jewel, and then everybody had to stay home, and I just felt like I needed to go. And that moment at Caroline's when Scotty ATL's guys were sitting there, and I'm trying to like drop some knowledge on these guys, just try to help them, you know, from a bigger picture perspective. And in walks this guy, acts like he don't even see me. He's just like, walks right up to these guys. I'm in the middle of coming. Hey guys, we really need some help with this, with our social media. And so I waited it out because I felt like, man, this guy's bold dropping names that like, I need to pay attention. Like, okay, I'm here to meet people. So I stuck around. And next thing I know, I mean, me and Anthony, we were talking, and it felt like having a new friend in Austin. And that relationship, that I stayed connected with him while I was in Nashville, and he'd tell me about what Jimmy has going on, and Phil, me and the Str8Up was getting going. And I remember that he goes, yo, I think you need to connect with Jimmy now. So I remember that first meeting I had with Jimmy, and it was just like some people you could tell if you jive with and you flow with, some you don't. And I knew, even though Jimmy is a super busy man, has a lot going on, I knew that there was something there. And when he would talk about Str8Up, it was like the antennas of, okay, there's something here. I want to learn more. And then Anthony, you would keep me up to date on what's going on with Thunder Studios. And, you know, and then when DJ Focus, really, when that connection with Focus came into the mix, things literally got focused, where it's like, okay, now this makes sense why we did the mental health webinar. Okay, now this makes sense why we met in Austin. Okay, Big Nate coming into the mix. And just the whole concept with Hip Hop Salutes, honoring these pioneers in hip hop to help salute and honor these righteous causes of the day to help change the culture in a positive direction. So having somebody like Ash, with what Jacob and herself and their team is doing, that is building bridges with the next generation. Having each person on this call has been super, super, I think, prolific in a lot of ways. I mean, because we got people who are scrappy and grassroots, but also connected with the mainstream thing where things are going. So I just want to turn it over to DJ Focus. He's become a near and dear friend. Whenever we all get on calls together, it's just like a kinship of we all love the hustle and we respect. So go ahead, DJ Focus, take it away. And there's the man himself, Jimmy Kang.
Listen, I think everything's been said. You know, do we got anything else? Anybody want to leave any else business side information for the people? Anything else that we want to throw out there? I mean, I think it was a lot of gems. Go ahead.
If I could just throw all my info out there for everyone, just because this is my first time meeting all of you except for Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody gonna do that. Absolutely. Go ahead, Jay. You can start it off.
Sure. My name is Jay Sparrow, and I run in Studio 44. You can go at Studio 44 CLE. Sorry, at Studio 44 CLE on pretty much all the things.
Did you say CLE?
Album. Yeah. Studio 44 CLE, and Sparrow and the Lost Boys is the main music project I'm working on right now. That's my band, but I'm also producing and recording for a lot of other people. So, you know, a lot of the big thing here being like, you know, up and coming and next gen stuff. If you guys need people for me to send your way, let me know.
Oh, yeah. So how about this, y'all? What we'll do is we'll do like our back room where we'll go off YouTube right now. So that way, if anybody wants to share anything that they don't want on the well, Studio 44, we got you out on there. But we just want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube. We just want to say bye to the World Wide Web at the moment. We're going to go back room on Zoom. We don't know how many more of these are for y'all, so make sure you eat up the information. I'm Brandon David with the Cleveland Nashville Connection. We want to thank Flight House Media, the Fix Radio Show. We want to thank Studio 44, Mallard Media, Fangs and Fins, Jimmy Kang, VP of WuTang, Str8Up Entertainment, the man himself, Big Nate, all-star, up and coming. He just released that new single, new music coming out. Wartime Leadership, Nathan.
Allstar.com, salute.
There you go. And so we just want to thank you all before we go off of YouTube. We're going to still be on here on Zoom. So clevelandnashville.com. God bless. Much success. Keep it moving.